2011, when the first generation Nissan Leaf came out, there was hardly any competition on the market for a fully battery electric vehicle. Now, on the third generation, we have a brand new Nissan Leaf, not only ready to take down the competition, but to show a lot of industry firsts as well. So when this third generation Nissan Leaf goes on sale later this year here in the United States, it's going to have three major grades. All right, you have the S Plus, the SV, and the Platinum Plus. What we have for us today, we have this new Sea Breeze color, and then we have another one behind Mike on camera there, a red that's been in the Nissan lineup for a while. But the Sea Breeze color speaks to me. You guys know I'm the Florida guy, so it is a beautiful kind of a turquoise color. Camera, I mean, even the B-roll I've seen, it just does not do it justice to this beautiful paint color. All right, but as we come to the front, this this Platinum Plus grade, the plus on any grade means the bigger battery pack. All right, the bigger battery pack is now a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. We're seeing potentially up to 303 miles of range on the S Plus, this being the fanciest model with bigger wheels. We're going to see a little bit less range, around 260 miles ago, and put on the screen exactly what this is going to be rated at. This front end has allowed the Nissan Leaf to become so aerodynamic to get that range. All right, so we have active shutters down below, a kind of like, I mean, that old Nissan V-Motion grille that was on the previous hatchback Leaf. I can't even call this a hatchback anymore, it's a small crossover. That V-Motion grille is gone. It's just a very handsome front end. And this Platinum grade also has an illuminated Nissan logo, which obviously it's daytime right now. You're not going to be able to see it. As well as this light bar that comes across is also exclusive to this Platinum Plus grade. All right, but the daytime running lights that you see and these beautiful, what looks to be triple beam LED headlights, those are standard throughout the lineup. Now, as we come to the side here, I want to talk about the wheel design, and then we'll get into the charging too, since we have a charging port right here. All right, these wheels, these glossy 19-inch wheels are exclusive to the Platinum Plus. You can also get two different 18-inch wheel sizes and styles on the S Plus and S and the SV grade. All right, now I want to lift open this for you guys. This has the NACS charging standard, so you'll be able to pull up to a Tesla supercharger for level 3 charging, and you don't need to get your phone out or anything. You'll pull up, you have everything already on your Nissan app and your phone, and you plug it in and it just starts charging, and you pull straight in. You don't have to back into the charging port or anything. But if you ever do have to back up in this vehicle or pull forward and you're worried about hitting something, well, guess what? The Nissan Leaf in every single grade has a top-down 360 camera, even on the base grade with the smaller battery pack. But that isn't the only charging port, okay? Yes, it has NACS. That's great. You can go to a Tesla supercharger. But most places, your level 1 and your level 2 chargers are the J1772. And guys, let's do that replay. That is very satisfying spring-loaded opening. And not only that, we have the spring-loaded individual caps and covers here. You can press this button to lock the charger in there. You can turn off your scheduler. I like these additional features that they have inside of that charging port. All right, man, come to the side profile. We have door handles that suck into the body. Again, a better coefficient of drag than we've ever seen on a Nissan Leaf. It's just a hair under 0.26. Previously it was 0.28, so it's now more slippery than ever, despite it potentially having a taller roof line. We don't have official numbers on height quite yet, but I'm gonna say it might be a hair taller than the old hatchback Leaf. I don't have the key, I don't want to lock myself out of the car, but they will close flush with the door there. And this is something we're seeing more common with crossovers. If you look at something like Toyota CHR, for example, or a Prius even, they have the door handle up here in the C-pillar, but I think Nissan does it the best because it's like a real physical latch and it's huge. All right, my kids could very easily reach up to that and open that rear door. But let's not get into the rear door yet. Let's get to the rear and then open it. All right. This is also unique rear end to the Nissan Leaf. What do I mean by that? Well, we have these, what Nissan is calling a first in the industry, these holographic 3D lights. The only thing I can kind of compare it to is the Lexus LC500, like V8 powered beautiful coupe, we're seeing similar technologies, not exactly the same, it's a little bit different here, but we have repeating taillights, not only here, but here, but that's exclusive to this Platinum Plus, because once you get to the base grade and the middle grade, this part is gone and it's just the outside here and it's not repeating. It still looks nice. Now there's another detail here. There's so many details on these rear lights. 2 in Japanese is ni, and the 3 is san. So it is essentially spelling Nissan with the taillights. Pretty neat, and that's why Nissan also, one of their more popular racing numbers is 23. Nissan font in the back, we got the backup camera right there, and I think it's time to open up the rear hatch. Automated. I don't have official information if this hatch is automated only in the Platinum Plus. I'll have to double check my facts there. But we have seen this, double adjustable floor in other Nissan products, but I will say it is the least frustrating I've ever experienced out of any Nissan product with these adjustable 2-piece floor here in the back. You also have 1500 watt AC power outlet here, which is going to power your grill, or I don't know, any electronics. The laptop is really only about 100 watts, 200 watts. So you'll be able to power anything you want from back there. Now, as we go back to the front, this does have vehicle to load. So your vehicle to load can power about 3.5 kilowatts. So you really could power like a refrigerator and a blackout or something like that with the vehicle to load that this vehicle is built in. So we're finally gonna get under the hood, all right? We have a prop stick. I don't have a problem with that. I like how we have this big pad here, but it's not like there's this pad here is to reduce engine noise. There is no engine. Typically you see that to be an insulator. Now, everything in here, the first time I saw this, I'm like, wow, Nissan's really shrunk everything down. Everything, all these components for the inverter as well as the electric motor have been miniaturized. So we have, well, not only better aerodynamics, but better energy efficiency within the components itself. And because Nissan removed the charging port from the old Nissan Leaf and put it to the sides of the vehicle, if you look at this from the side, it's so small. It's almost like a compact commercial van or something, where the engine just doesn't take up a lot of space. So propelling this Nissan Leaf is just one motor setup, all right? Even on the base grid, but we don't know the power outputs on the smaller battery pack quite yet, but this has 214 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It's identical in terms of horsepower versus the larger battery pack on the old Leaf, but we do get a little, just a tinge more torque here on the larger battery pack models. Actually, stay tuned for the torque on the small battery pack. It might be really close to the 262 we see on the bigger battery pack. Okay, so the Leaf over there has a more of a black interior. I'll go ahead and show some of that content for you. But I think this sea breeze color, look at this Leaf skid plate there. I bet that's illuminated as well. It's just hard to see here in the daytime. I love that touch, but I also am a big fan of this gray accenting this robin's egg turquoise sea breeze color. As we get into the back seat, I love the details on the stripes here. Now Nissan has a new material here. They say it's way softer than leather, way more durable than leather. And it's I think it's a first for Nissan to use this specific sort of material in here. What can I say about it? Well, it feels very comfortable, and I like how it's perforated here, so you're not gonna be too uncomfortable in hot climates. Now, this Platinum grade also has heated outboard seats, 2 USB-Cs, and an additional AC power outlet out here for 1500 watts. Now, me sitting behind a seat's kind of set up for me around 6 feet tall. Good headroom, decent legroom. My feet can't really move around that much, but you know what? With the flat floor in here, I have liberty to move my feet around. But the Nissan Leaf, I would say it's probably mainly for little kids in the back. If you need something bigger, or if you need something with all-wheel drive, look at the Aria. Nissan's got that in the lineup as well. Now, as we get into the front seat here, same materials, except one of the big upgrades on this model is going to be the memory seats. We have a power front seat here, and it is a manual, at least sliding seat here. Do you have, and I guess it is a manual vertical cushion adjustment as well, even on the top grade. All right, but look at the quality of these seats. I mean, this sort of quality is something you would see in like a Murano, or maybe even like an Infiniti, just a different style. It looks really, really premium. It feels real premium. And these headrests also have something that we just saw in the new QX60 and the QX80 for 2026. Now those use clip audio, but these speakers in the headrest have the same technology working them, meaning when you get a phone call, you'll hear the people speaking to you through the headrest, and the rest of the car will be able to listen to their music uninterrupted. All right, pretty fantastic. So let's go ahead and sit on the inside of the new Nissan Leaf. We do have a head-up display on this model. I appreciate that. We have an auto-dimming rear view mirror, and we are going to show you this new technology, guys. I have not seen this in a car yet. Maybe you can see it in some German cars, but this roof is standard here on this platinum grade, and it has different levels of getting smoked out. And it's just one click, it'll go halfway back in different stages. And Nissan said, hey, in Japanese art, it's supposed to mimic the skyline and of the clouds. So I think that's a great touch. And then you also see this Leaf logo here. Now it's kind of cloudy. You're not going to be able to see it on the camera, but I'm going to put on the B-roll the Leaf logo being stamped into the seat because of the shadow it's creating with this new, I guess, dimmable roof. All right. So 2 pushes closes it completely, and you push it again, and it'll go halfway, and you push it again, and it'll go fully open. All right. Also, you have a sunglass holder up there if you're playing with the sunroof. All right, so let's get into the technology here. We have 2 14.3-inch screens that kind of run into each other. This technology we see in a $100,000+ Infiniti QX80. It's the same exact screen, it's the same exact software, it's Google built in. Like, this is fantastic. But this new page here, battery heater, if you're heading to the charger, we have a liquid cooled battery, which is going to give better longevity for the vehicle, but you're gonna have better range, and your battery's just gonna have better health over the lifespan. But to get that optimal charging, which is 150 kilowatts at a NACS charger, for example, you're gonna want to use this battery preconditioning button. But just look how easy it is to get to. All right, let's say I'm in Google Maps here, and look how fast that was. I go home, all right, swipe, battery heater, and I didn't even have to click the menu. Actually, I can, in the sub menu here, I can turn it on or off to get the battery ready to be charging at an optimal rate by the time I get to my supercharger network, all right, which is pretty cool. This is also new as well. This electric vehicle page, it tells me 290 miles on 93%. You can adjust the charge limit here, and this is the first time I've played with this software, so the fact that this is this easy and intuitive is pretty amazing, all right? So you can set the charge limit to 80% for your daily charging for the longevity of the battery. But if you're taking those road trips, you might want to charge it to 100% before you leave the day before. You have climate schedule. So if you're about ready to get in the car and it's, you leave every day at a specific time, you can get the climate control to get set up at the perfect temperature. Again, we have 4 heated seats in here. If you want heated seats, you have to get upgraded to the SV Plus grade. You're not going to have in the base S grade. But you also have a charging schedule. We already mentioned that at the J1772 port at the front. Again, another shortcut to the battery heater. Energy usage, I'm going to really geek out over this page once I get this at home and I can test this out, because I really want to see how many miles per kilowatt hour this new Nissan Leaf can achieve. Charging station button, well, with Google built in, that's pretty nifty. If I go ahead and click this, the battery will automatically precondition. I don't have to go ahead and manually press the preconditioning button to get the battery ready. It'll do it by itself because the car speaks with the Google built-in and the Google Maps, which is just pretty fantastic. We have another 14-inch screen right here with lots of different displays. As you guys can see, I can kind of switch between what I want, but then I can also customize what I want to see on the screen, all right? This is not indicative of the actual miles per kilowatt hour because this vehicle is sitting here. Because its charge limit, it would take maybe 28 minutes to get to 100%, but we're already at 93%. But Nissan says around 10 to 80% will take 35 minutes, all right? Assuming you preconditioned your battery and assuming you're charging at peak 150 kilowatts most of that time. So love all the different features here. You can put Google Maps on this screen as well. You have your range, your percentage there, your speedometer. It's fantastic. All right, look where the volume knob, front and center, big fan of that. Look how easy this is. Nissan reiterated over and over and over that they wanted to make this vehicle seamless and easy for people who are buying their first EV. All right, so when you start the car, there's a start-stop engine button. Well, it doesn't have an engine, but you get the idea. All right, volume knob, easy. All these climate controls, there's an auditory feedback. You can do it through the menu if you want. There is a touch menu for the climate control. You could just put it on auto and forget it, and then you can adjust the temperature as needed. All right, but I'm gonna turn off those heated seats because it's starting to warm up here. What does it say? It says 63, that's not accurate. I know Mike would agree with that. Now we have different driving modes, and it does pop up right here. We have a customizable personal mode, you have a sport mode, a standard mode, an eco mode. All right, and then in terms of these paddle shifters, I don't know. Nissan didn't really tell us what these paddle shifters are going to do yet. It might change the different levels of region. That would make sense to me. But there's also this E-step button, and E-step is as close to one pedal driving as you're going to get in the Nissan Leaf. They don't let you do one pedal driving. So what the E-step will do is that it'll do a really good job slowing it down to the last couple miles per hour, and then you'll still need to use the brake pedal to bring this new Nissan Leaf to a stop. Speaking of my feet down here, Nissan, since they miniaturize all the components, and since this is also on the CMF EV platform that the Nissan Ariya uses, we do have a flat floor down here, and you can see how much space I have. I even have a hidden 12 volt. That's kind of a nice Easter egg down there. All right, wireless charger, I forgot to mention that. Cup holders here. I just feel like I have a lot of room. When you get into the vehicle for the first time, you're greeted by, of course, an additional aluminum skid plate here with the illuminated Leaf logo. But this Platinum grade also has the heated steering wheel, auto brake hold, which is one of my favorite things Nissan does, and Nissan does a good job keeping it memory. So when you turn the car off, it'll keep it on or off based off your previous setting, which I'm a big fan of. We also have this wide view camera here, and this is essentially the same technology that we see on much more expensive Nissan and Infiniti products. It's essentially the same thing I just saw earlier today in a more expensive QX80. When I say more expensive, I mean like probably 3, maybe 4 times more expensive than this. Now we don't have pricing again of the Nissan Leaf quite yet. We'll have to get closer to on sale date this fall. And yeah, it's just so many different options in here that to have it on such a small vehicle is strange. But like I said, when you have you know, guesswork, when you're pulling up close to a charging station, it's great to have this top-down view camera to guide you along the way. But this also does have parking sensors on the front and the rear to give you a proximity of when you're getting too close to something. So when the Nissan Leaf comes out this fall, I can see this sort of design and the capabilities of this 3rd gen Leaf drawing first-time EV buyers into their first electric car for the very first time. I do have a couple questions left. There's no all-wheel drive option. Nissan says, hey, you know, if you need that all-wheel drive, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more, get a little bit more space as well, and the bigger brother, the Ariya. And pricing is the big one. What is this gonna be priced at by the time it gets here? We don't know what the political climate or anything like that, what this is gonna be built in Japan. So you gotta keep in mind, they're no longer gonna be building the Nissan Leaf in Smyrna, Tennessee. Production has already ended on it. It's be coming over from the Tochigi area in Japan, which is exciting for a lot of you guys here on my channel that you guys love your Japanese cars. But we're gonna end it there. Let me know what you think about the new Nissan Leaf in the comments. It's a beautiful car. It's gonna be very efficient. I think they can hit a home run if they price it right, but we'll have to wait to see.